Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday morning real estate marketing show with Ruthie Rocks, Ruth Allbrand, and I am Marketing Max. This is show number 541. And we have another returning guest today to talk about the landscape of social media and marketing in the real estate world. His name is Anthony Mendoza with now, I think, Guild Mortgage, right, Ruth?
Yes, he's with Guild, and he's
Guild
going to talk
Mortgage.
about Instagram.
All right, Instagram, which actually we've circled around that topic for a long time, so I'm
Yes.
glad to revisit that. So,
Yeah.
But before we get into Anthony, Ruth, what is happening in real estate?
All right. Well, here we are. I'm going to put myself in the corner here. Oops, wrong corner. Here we go, everybody. We have 18 days of inventory. We've jumped up a day this week. That's great. And my happy face is by the 192 just listed homes. And I love that because I love when we list more than we sell, because then our numbers will rise and not decrease. We don't want to get down under 2 weeks of inventory. Oh my gosh. But we're getting more. We have 18 days. So that's 2,824 available condos, single family, and townhomes. And the single family homes jumped up this week to 2,229. I am ecstatic about that because that helps the consumers have more choices when they're buying homes, and they are flying off the shelf. So many things going on in this market today. One of the things that I want to tell you is that we're selling about 130 homes a day compared to last month where we sold 155 homes a day. So I don't know if May is going to get more speed as we get toward the end of the month. I know we have a holiday weekend, so we'll see what happens. And we probably won't have those stats accurately for May until the 1st of June. 1st and 2nd of June, actually, as people actually post that they closed the deal. So anyway, TMI, the median priced home is $380,000, everybody. It is up to $380,000. And that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. We were just at 365 at the beginning of the year. So things have jumped up, and I want to quickly show you. Let's see if I can find this. We're going to hide that one, and we're going to put this one up there. This shows how I get the median priced home, because, statistics are great, but you have to know the source. And I shared this yesterday on the show, but for the people that are going to see it across the country today, I want them to know that we take single family homes only. We take, the areas 0101 through 0805. And if you're not in real estate, that basically draws a circle around the greater Las Vegas Valley. So we don't include things like Mesquite. We don't include things farther than the end of the strip. So this is true Las Vegas. 380,000 median price. So this is a true figure, and the prices are going up, Max. It's I don't know what to say, but they are. And the other thing I wanted to talk about today was, real quickly, we have 373 available $1 million homes, and over 1 million. And of that, these 14 are over 10 million. And let's switch this around. There we go. And you can see that 27 million is the top. We have a home in Las Vegas. It's actually 39 acres, and it's the most famous real estate in Las Vegas. And it was purchased piece by piece over one generation, which is a couple decades. Anyway, it's privately gated. It's got a hangar for a plane, and I have some pictures here. Let's see. This used to be Wayne Newton's. Yeah, but it's not his anymore. Okay, it's beautiful. It's just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful property. Hide this and just show you. It's got the hangar, the grand entrance, and here you can see Wayne Newton's initials on the foyer. even though he doesn't own it anymore. But it's just gorgeous. It's got horses. Of course, he was famous for his horses. He had 100 and it was home to 120. He had 120 Arabian horses, which is unbelievable. Yeah, it has a gaming room, a green room, an environmental zoo for exotic animals. It has tennis courts, koi ponds, fountains, and it's just amazing. And I just thought that it might be, an eye-catching thing to show everybody. But the fact that we've got 14 homes over $10 million is just incredible. And they're all over the valley. So, Max, it's amazing what goes on in Vegas, And, Wayne Newton was performing still before the pandemic at the Cleopatra's Barge. And so it got shut down. So he was notified just yesterday that they were not going to put him back, his show back on the barge. But they're going to keep him. They're going to keep him employed. So that's really amazing. I just thought that was.
He's been an icon in this town for what, 3-4 decades now. I mean, it's
oh my
crazy.
Gosh.
He's kind of like the last of like the old guard here in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. I mean, right after the Rat Pack, it was Wayne Newton, and then he's like the only survivor.
Right. Yeah.
Siegfried and Roy. I mean, I think either Roy or Sig died last year.
Yeah, they're both gone now. Yeah.
Both gone, and really, I mean, that's Wayne Newton's like the 70s, right after in the 70s.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Almost 50 years.
He's been around forever. And just so everybody knows, Max, we were talking about this before the show. This is not a bubble, everybody, the real estate market that we're going through. And what makes this market different? It's the low inventory, for one, and it's the higher down payment. People are putting higher down payments, and we have fixed rate mortgages. We don't have those escalating interest rates, those adjustables anymore. And we have much tighter lending restrictions, and historically low interest rates. So, the houses are selling, and everybody, if you realize that the past 10 years, the values have increased from when we had the foreclosure debacle. And so every year they go up in value a little bit more. And, if you bought your home in 2011, the median price back then was $120,000. And now the median price is what I say, $380,000. So you've made $260,000 on that investment. Well, and it's like you said, Max, there's money out there. I mean, people have equity in their homes. And so, the market is just keeping it's its own generator. It just keeps generating because the values keep going up. The interest rates are low. People are putting down higher down payments. The market's getting very solid from a real estate perspective. And
the rising prices are driven by real demand this time around, not speculative investment demand that was rampant especially here in Las Vegas in the 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, this is actually a real need for people finding homes to actually live in.
Yes.
And like you said, there's equity right now. Unlike 04, 05, when people were putting 100% down buying properties, people are for the most part putting 10, 20, 30, sometimes 50, sometimes 100% down on their properties now. And so, I mean, there's not, the dynamics are way different.
Yeah, way different.
And there's a great migration happening, and everybody's trying to downplay it, but you can almost sense it. A lot of people are moving away from high tax states.
Yes, they are.
That aren't run well, right? With the issues that they're having around, homelessness and just the crowds and taxes and the unfriendly business environment that, that those high taxes create. People are moving. In Nevada, like last month I saw an article was like the #1 destination for one-way U-Hauls. So,
right.
I asked you last time, I think, I wonder what the net number, I think it's 1,800 right now, net new population every month to, Nevada. And so, I mean, you got 1,800 people
from California. That's from California. I mean, that's amazing. Right. And people need to realize that we are one of the 10 lowest property taxed states.
Tax state, right.
So even though the prices are going up, you're not going to feel it in your pocketbook for the taxes like you are in other states. They have
Right.
high property taxes and high state taxes and other taxes that we don't have. And people now, it's making a difference, and it's making this country richer. So that's the wonderful news.
And surprisingly enough, everybody's, with the summers that we have here, think that our utility bills are out of control, but they're really not compared to other places.
No.
California, I
No.
mean, your electricity bill is gonna be around, $100 to $120 a month, year round, on average. I mean, states like Colorado, I don't know if everybody know this, but be prepared to like almost double your utility bill if you move to the state of Colorado for whatever reason. Yeah. And they have the majority electric stoves, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't know why that is, but.
Well, I don't know, but they're saying that, we might have that too someday. It depends. The green movement. Anthony, are you ready? You all ready? Okay. So I'm going to put the bubble down, and we're going to bring Anthony up on the screen. Here you go, Anthony. Smile.
How's it going? That was fun. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw like various cameras and me running around.
No, but I heard you.
Yeah, it's good. It's good though. Look at you with the like professional lighting too. Look at that. He's got the
ring light
overhead kind of shadowing.
I had like this whole setup going.
I love it.
And now I'm down to a laptop and AirPods because that wanted to malfunction on me this morning. So, whenever we get into the topic of like gear or no gear, no extra cameras, none of that, because if not, you end up like me. I kicked my desk and ran downstairs and grabbed my laptop. So.
Exactly right. Well,
I know it's amazing, these live shows. People don't know. I mean, my camera at home doesn't work. I do half my show preparation there, then I run down to the office to do the show from here, and then hope everything's good here. So it's showbiz. I love it.
Right. Well, welcome back to the show, Anthony. It's good to have you back, man. I know when you were on here last time, you shared some really good nuggets. And today, actually, I'm excited about Instagram, the topic today, because, for the most part, some people think Instagram's dead right now, with whole TikTok Ks and the Facebook, but so tell us a little bit, for the people who've never heard about you before, give us a brief introduction of yourself and we'll go from there.
So a little backstory on me, other than being completely computer illiterate this morning, I usually am not. I'm the very much the opposite of that, and a nerd for most regards when it comes to tech, marketing, computers, the gear, all of the different setups. So I've been in the real estate space about 6 years now. Started off in title sales, went into marketing for real estate agents and lenders, and I ended up just recently making a switch over to be a lender myself. So super focused on the marketing aspect of it. And honestly, the biggest jump was for the entrepreneurialism again. Like, I wanted to kind of take the reins back and see how that went again. For those of you that don't know, I have a really colorful background with small businesses and sales and everything. And that's where my root came from originally. So it's nice kind of getting back to that, getting back direct to consumer and being able to try all of these crazy ideas I have and practice what I'm preaching. So that's a little bit about me. It's kind of what I've been up to lately. On social, I've been kind of a hermit because I got stuff planned. So look out for it in the coming months. I'm pretty excited, but I won't give up too much information. Just it'll be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you started a catchphrase for yourself or anything like that, or a brand name? Like Aaron Taylor has the real estate guy, or mortgages with Mendoza. I don't know. I mean, throwing it out there.
So no catchphrases yet. I do have some branding. I do have all of that put together, but I'll send you some teasers later. I'll release them, but for right now, everything's kind of under wraps for the next couple of weeks. But yeah, the branding's built out. I'll have the full site. I'll have a learning studio for everybody to go to, get classes and information. There'll be a lot of podcasts, a lot of classes, a lot of video, and lots of reels, all of that. So Yeah.
So Anthony, I have a question. Do you have your phone, your smartphone, or your iPhone? Do you have it on Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Because it's interfering with your Wi-Fi bandwidth. You're coming across a little fuzzy.
Okay.
Sometimes that solves it.
Yeah. Let me go yell at my kids to get off the iPad.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it comes back, and I have a weird kind of what's happening in my neighborhood right now. So I just moved into a new home, but I'm renting out my old one. And about a week ago, I went onto Facebook just to look at my neighborhood kind of community, what's going on. And one of my neighbors posted their home. She has a model lower than or smaller than I do. Mine's 3,100 square feet. Hers is, I think, 2,978. And I nearly fell off my chair at the price that she was listing at it. So I bought my home 6 years ago for $350,000, right? You know, when and at the time I thought, oh man, this is pricey. But now she listed her home for $550,000. 200 square feet smaller than mine, $550,000, and 7 days later she got an offer. They're in contract right now for more than asking price. So
wow,
I'm excited. Wow. All the neighbors are excited to see what this house sells for, but it's kind of crazy. But we got Anthony back, and he's wearing a hat.
Yeah. I had to put a hat on. The hair was crazy.
I liked it. No,
yeah,
that hat off.
It was great, man.
That was great. Take that hat off.
Mortgage, it's too much.
Yeah.
Mortgage madness with Mendoza.
Oh my goodness, the hair is untimely sometimes. It's crazy.
All right. So actually, I mean, I'm going to take this show a little bit, slightly another direction, Ruth, because and then we'll go back to Instagram. But I think this is going to be a great learning lessons for especially new real estate agents or real estate agents trying to break into this marketing world, online. Is that now you're branching out on your own, Anthony, right? You're pretty much starting from not necessarily from scratch, but you're building your brand all over again, right? You've been known in the community to help real estate agents at title rep, but now you're going straight to direct to consumers. I mean, for the most part, the end consumer really doesn't have a great idea who you are right now. So you're building a brand new brand from scratch. So can you share with us maybe the first 3 things that you're focusing on to launch right now, right? What are you focusing on first? And this will kind of help the other real estate agents to tune in to, not all the noise that's out there, but actually focusing on something that could be potentially working, because you've done this for other people. What are you doing right now to ramp up?
So I will completely open the playbook up to you and let you know exactly what's going on. When I first made the switch, there were a couple things that I wanted to look at and identify before I end up doing it fully. One of them was that I wanted to have the brand built. I wanted to have the idea of what I'm going to do in place, and then after that, I wanted to go straight for content marketing. So my whole thing that I'm going to wrap it around is going to be all content based, all video based, all content online. And it's going to be organic and wrapped around that brand. So what that means is that instead of doing a lot of generic marketing where it's a flyer or a picture of a home or something that I feel like I've been doing a lot of for the last couple of years, because it's easy to do and it's easy to do at scale. Yeah, it's going to be more of the work in the front end of creating the content so that I have consistency and I can actually build a community around it. So my main focus is going to be creating content to create a community so that I have that pond to fish from, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And the way that I'm doing it right now is that I identified something that I wanted to go after and then just started creating content around it. And these last 45 days since I've made the switch, it's all been just every day after I'm in the office, come home for a couple hours and just shoot videos. And then days I'm not shooting videos, I'm writing ideas for content for other videos. And then using these tactics that we talk about in these classes to distribute them online, to have them housed or stored so that I put them out with consistency over time. If for the main platforms I'm going to be looking at for myself for this full rebrand is going to be website that is all branded to me, that has my content on it, a YouTube page, and then an Instagram account.
Okay. What was the first one, Anthony?
Website.
Oh, website. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So my own website, and then YouTube, and then Instagram. And the way that it kind of stacks is that my website will be my soapbox. It'll be the top where I want everybody to back to, or it'll end up, I guess, funnel term. It'll be the bottom of my funnel. So it'll be the very base.
So what would be the name of that?
She's good.
If nobody can take it.
So I got two names right now that I'm going back and forth from. So the reason why I'm like weary on it is because I literally have two brand sets that I'm kind of working from picking from. One of them is going to be mortgage based, and one is marketing based. And personally, I'm leaning the marketing based one.
Oh, definitely marketing.
But I'm kind of leaning on the more. So it's. Oh, I want to tell you so bad.
Well, tell me. I mean, it's just do it.
So the name of it's actually going to be Results Over Theory.
Results
over theory.
Over theory.
So who's your target market for this marketing based?
Everybody. So originally when I swapped over, the idea was, hey, I know a bunch of real estate agents. I have a bunch of ties in this community. I've helped people grow businesses a lot over the last couple of years. So let's go directly after them. And when I started doing that, I didn't want to just for the agents, because it felt almost low-hanging fruit because I have the relationships built, and I ended up wanting to give back more instead of just always asking deal. So I ended up swapping it to marketing just for them for all small businesses. So if you have a business, whether it be real estate or not, you could go there and get ideas for marketing. You can get ideas for drop shipping. You can get ideas for starting a small business online, e-commerce sites, anything like that. Which is, it's funny because I've actually, over the last 3 months, I've been trying those different things, and that's led into some of the content. I've been creating e-commerce stores, creating websites, trying out Facebook ads, TikTok ads, all of these different platforms on there, so that people can go there and say, hey, I want to try TikTok ads today, and be able to look at the videos, see the actual results, and kind of have scorecards for everything. Well,
so results over theory. Did I do that right?
Yeah.
That's good. And what's the other one you're thinking about?
Mendoza marketing team, which is, or no, I'm sorry, Mendoza mortgage team. It's not as original, but it's got a name in it, so I guess that's kind of cool.
Right.
So why not just Anthony Mendoza? Just ask.
It was taken on GoDaddy.
Anthony Mendoza won.
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see, right?
Yeah, like I said, I have the stuff saved and everything. I've been real preemptive with it for the release because I'm a big brand nerd, so I always like to go back and forth on all of that. And I have paralysis by analysis, just like us do. I teach these classes and I talk about all this stuff and I do all this. I still suffer from that, where I look at a logo that I got created 1,000 times, or I look at the colors 1,000 times, or the text on something, and I always want to make changes instead of letting it out there into the world. So that's why I have like all of the different sets of what I want to do. All the same, all the same concept. It's just different colors and names.
I like Anthony M.
It's probably the best, honestly. Personal branding wins over everything.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents. But I know whatever you do, it'll be great. So
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
See, there you have it, folks. I mean, you got a guy that's seasoned who runs into the same pitfalls that all of us, right? Like the little things like the branding, making decisions. But one thing he's going to realize soon is content is king, and it really doesn't matter what his branding is going to be until the content needs to hit with his audience. And once that hits, the branding can be adjusted. I mean, how many times has like look at Amazon. I mean, they've changed their logo probably like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times, probably 100 times, and we don't even realize it because. Yeah. And then they finally found the Amazon symbol with the smile.
A to Z.
Yeah,
A to Z with a smile.
A to Z with a smile. So, so that's fantastic. We're looking for. I want to have you back on the show to see, about 6 months from now how that's going, because you're taking the long game right now. You're playing the long game, right? Because the content building takes time to catch, and depending on how much marketing money you put behind it, right? Paid advertising and things like that nature, it could be faster, or you could hit, have something that like really hits virally. That could catapult you, but you're playing the long game. You're absolutely right. Content is king, and I look at Mr. Beast right now. He's a big YouTuber, and he just came out with I think it's called a virtual restaurant, basically where you just order online. That's it. There's no physical location. He sells hamburgers.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. And how wild that truly is. So yeah, Mr. Beast started Mr. Beast Burger, and the actual restaurants and kitchens that they used to cook was places like Brio. Like Brio in Times Square, he locally was a Mr. Beast Burger. So their kitchen was the one cooking. So it wasn't like it was just some like random kitchen somewhere that was cooking. Like they took a concept and an idea, ended up bringing real world implementation to it, partnering things like Uber Eats, partnering things with like Postmates and big restaurants to be able to have that full real world application. I think that is insane.
Yeah, insane. But the reason why he's able to do that, because he built so much content over the last 12 years and has this pool of followers that are like, fanatical for him, and they'll consume and buy and support him and whatever he does, because one, he's a really cool kid. I think he's like 21 now, 22 or 25 or something like that. So I mean, I think that's what you're trying to do, but obviously at a smaller scale, and more niched down to things related to marketing, and obviously eventually to utilize you as a mortgage agent.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be fun because I'm really excited for the content. I love being on these shows, love having conversations with people, and now I can do it more often. Now I can be able to have that creative direction where I want to be able to take it and do all of that. So really excited for it, and kind of excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take it back to Instagram for right. Kind of show here. I'm curious too. So I mean, what's happening these days with Instagram? I mean, what's kind of changed over the last maybe 12 months, and what are you kind of focusing, and how are you tackling the Instagram strategy?
So today specifically, we'll be talking about Instagram Reels. I actually made an entire slide deck for anybody that wants more information on Insta Reels. We can show it today, and we can kind of run through it. Or I just kind of give you a bunch of information about it. But really, the main focus with Instagram right now, I think, should be on things like stories and reels. And the main reason is it's quick, easy, and consumable content that doesn't take a long time for people to understand your brand, and it has some of that ability to be reshared.
So clarify for the audience what's the difference between Instagram videos and reels?
Perfect. So Instagram, as we all know, we've heard about TikTok over the last couple of years. Right? Whenever any social media platform starts emerging, Facebook, being that it is the Walmart of the internet, kind of morphs it into whatever that is. So they took Instagram, added the Reels platform to be able to have a competition with TikTok, because as one emerges, they start losing followers or start losing bandwidth. So they created Reels. It is very similar in a lot of aspects to TikTok. A lot of the same transitions, a lot of the same music, a lot of the same style is all there inside of Reels, just like it would be on TikTok. And that kind of leads you to the question of, why should I use Instagram Reels over TikTok? For a lot of people, that answer is easy. I don't want to be on TikTok. My 4-year-old daughter is doing the little dances and all of that. The answer to that also is, hey, you've already established a follower base on Instagram because you've had it over the last couple of years. You've shared photos and everything. So why not use its new feature to go against it? So what Reels are, they're a 15-second video that is clips of multiple videos or one long video that you can add different features into it, like audio clips, remixes. You can add transitions into it, stickers, effects, all of this fun little stuff. And it's the built-in video editor. So instead of also needing a third-party app to edit the video and juice it up and then send it to Instagram, you can do everything right there inside of Instagram. So you can add your transitions right there in app. You can add your music right there in app, and then you can share it. Instagram has a place inside of their platform that's dedicated to Reels, and it also has a lot of spots in the Explore page dedicated to Reels as well. So where that means for us as business owners and marketers is we want to get seen more. If we know a platform has a new feature out and it's trying to get more people to see that feature and it doesn't have enough content for it, it'll push your content out more. So it's going to inevitably give you more exposure.
And say that again, Anthony, what's going to give them more exposure? Back that up a little bit.
So the way that they would get new exposure is because Instagram has the section for Reels and it needs more content for it. So by creating organic content and putting it in there, they're going to be using that content and pushing it out more. So it's going to give you exposure in places like the Reels section alone and all over the Explore page as well.
Good. And do we have to be concerned about like copywriting and like music? I always wonder about these like TikTok videos and stuff like that playing mainstream music. And especially if you're running it for your business and advertising, like what's the ramifications around the copyright stuff?
So if you're using the music that's already in the app is taking care of all of the copyright responsibilities for you already. Yeah, because they're providing that music for you. They already take care of it on their end. That's where it's like, hey, when you're going to edit the videos, like you might as well do it in app and use their selection of music, because if you did edit it out of app and you had something that was possibly copywritten and put it in there and it wasn't one of their songs, then you would run into some type of ramification. But if you're using the music selection that they have already provided, you shouldn't have to worry about that. Right.
And I'm assuming you have to stay on the native app with that video, because if you port it to like YouTube or Facebook or your website, you got to be careful about that.
So with kind of spin, I'm gonna spin the question a little bit, and where I want to take it is that kind of going back to the creating organic content for that platform. If you're on Reels right now, the number one thing that you're going to see is in the bottom left-hand corner, a little TikTok logo. And that's because people got exposure on TikTok and they're blowing up and they think that they can take it to Instagram and do the same thing. So Instagram's Reels and Explorers are just getting full of TikTok videos where they're just sharing them back up to the same place. And that goes into a conversation I think we had last time where, why would you go to 10 restaurants and only order chicken fingers? You don't. You go to different restaurants for different food. Exactly. So different platforms for different content. If you're going to be using Reels, create organic content for the Reel and leave it there. Go for it.
I'm sorry, Anthony. That's true for all platforms too. If you do like this Be Live that we're doing right now, I don't share it. I download it, I clip it, I put it, I change it for my YouTube channel, and then I change it for the video, for the website. You have to make the content contextual to the platform.
100%. And that doesn't take from recycling content either. So what I think is amazing about Reels and above the other platforms is that it is so short. It's 15 seconds. And let's say that you are a real estate agent and all of last year, you posted nothing but beautiful homes. We had 1-minute video walkthroughs of all of these different beautiful homes because you're on Instagram and that's how Instagram was working at the time. Exactly. It had 1-minute videos. Right. So what you do with that is you say, hey, I'm going to take all the best kitchens from last year and I'm just going to snip it into a reel, a 15-second reel. So here's 3 of my best kitchens that I saw last year, 3 of the best backyards, 3 of the best blank things. You could do neighborhood spotlights. You can do so many things with the content that you have already created because Reels is allowing you to kind of repurpose it if you're giving it a different context and be able to re-release it so you can really have a lot more content based off of what you already had.
And how long do the Reels stay on Instagram?
they're not like stories where they don't disappear. Right. So they stay on as long until you delete them.
And that's really a beautiful thing. Perhaps we'll see. I mean, you know, I think right now they're looking for content, but eventually when they get it rolling, I think they might let it retire, because, you know, that's what keeps people coming back to those stories. They're always different. If I had to see the same story every day, I might not be so excited about that Facebook real estate story section.
Yeah, and I think that kind of goes with the post as well, because it has a place in your profile. It right next to your post, so it's in between your posts and what you're tagged in on your profile, where people can go back and get more information on that reel. And I think that's nice, that it sets itself apart from stories as well, because stories, I think, are really good at the fun behind the scenes, showing personality, showing character, showing business and all of that, where I think the reels can really be a fun educational platform for real estate agents, where, hey, I want to give you like hot news right now. I've been hearing about this new program that's out, or, hey, this is happening in our market. Things are changing so fast. You should know about this, or this house just came up or is going to come up. And they can, you almost kind of create some of these different series inside of there. And if it is educational, it's something that people can always refer back to as well.
Oh, fantastic. So what kind of style of content are you creating on, you know, these reels for 15 seconds, right? I mean, obviously with 15 seconds, you got to like capture attention like almost immediately. So, you know, what's your thought process around how to create content that's 15 seconds long?
So instead, you could do the repurpose a question down to 15 seconds. But honestly, with the 15-second reel, creating the content would be that it's, hey, I am being purposeful with what I want to say. So instead of being long-winded in an explanation of something, it's the quick tip. If instead of the full house, it's the main highlights. It's something that you know is going to grab their attention, something that you know is going to end up bringing them back, or something that they should know about.
Gary Vaynerchuk said in relation to what you're talking about, that you should pretend like you're doing a 15-second Super Bowl commercial.
Right.
You know, one of the rules in especially online marketing is actually, you know, a call to action at some point, right? So I mean, with these content 15-second branding, I mean, there's not really much time necessarily to, you know, call to action, right? I mean, are we leaving that out? Are we, you know, utilizing these 15-second reels just mainly as like brand building and you know, content building, and then hopefully leading them and they explore more of your other, you know, kind of avenues and pages, maybe back to your website, which is going to be the anchor of your brand, right?
So to get really nerdy about this, really what the answer is it should be both. You should have brand building type reels. I think the majority of your reels should be brand building. And then of course you need calls to action. But with that being said, the beauty of it is that Instagram is a Facebook product. This is technically a Facebook video. Your Instagram reels are Facebook videos. So kind of what I'm alluding to here is that those calls to action, all of the videos that you're building with branding, all of this, you're building yourself a community, regardless of them following or engaging with the content or not, as long as they're watching it or seeing it. And you can always double back on that in a Facebook ad later. So when you start getting into that next level of marketing going through it, you can take the time that you spent building out all these reels, shooting all this content, putting it out there, and then have a strong call to action in a Facebook ad later to all the people that have watched your content, consume it, and are a part of your community, asking them if they're curious about buying a home, or if they want to know what the equity is like, or if there's anywhere in town that they like over another, and really working that base.
Okay. So you're building content, but eventually you can repackage and repurpose it with an ad of some sort. That's called. So is the swipe
leverage?
Right. Is the swipe up feature in Instagram? I'm curious, you know, old school here, probably dating myself on Instagram a couple of years. Swipe up feature, you still have to have 10,000 followers. And if you have a paid ad on Instagram with a swipe up feature, you don't have to, do you still have to have 10,000 followers or?
So if it's organic, yes, 10,000. If it's a paid ad, no. If it's a paid ad, you can have the swipe up feature. That's still in stories, not in reels. Reels does have a remix feature that they just released, which is exactly like TikToks. You know, you ever see the side-by-side videos where like somebody shot a video and then so now for the longest time, we never had anything in Instagram that you could actually repost somebody's content. You'd have to get like a third-party repost app to get their content, then repost it back on Instagram later on. So this is the closest thing that they're getting to that. What's nice about it is that as an agent, you could be remixing other content about community influencers or things that are happening in town, but you could also create content that could be remixed by other people. And that could be stuff that is community-based or community-driven, whether it be things like what to do during the summer or your experience, and then asking somebody to remix it and then move it around. But it also adds that, hey, I'm going to put myself in front of somebody else's database. Yeah, somebody else's audience, somebody else's people. So that's nice that that's built into it now, is being able to remix.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. Any other questions, Ruth, for Anthony from Instagram that you can think of? You're more dealing with every day than I am. I haven't looked at my Instagram page in like 6-7 months.
Okay, so I got a question for you then. Why? Why no Instagram? What's your main platform? What do you enjoy?
Facebook is still my Facebook and YouTube. You know, because I'm looking for like anytime I just bought a new house, right? So DIY stuff, right? How to change a sink faucet, whatever. So I'm looking on YouTube, and then after a while, you look on YouTube, and YouTube has these short stories and kind of like these reels things, you know, like short clips too, and you kind of get wrapped into that. And then I still use Facebook. Simply, it's just because for me, Instagram it's almost like Twitter, where it's becoming too noisy for me. I don't know if they need to change their algorithm where they just kind of post more relevant stuff, or for me, I want to watch video content that like is either really entertaining, and maybe it's just my interest in my age group. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the younger kids are probably consuming way more Instagram than I am, but just me being a 43-year-old here, for what I'm looking for, I'm consuming a lot of YouTube and Facebook more so than anything.
Right. So for the purpose of that, I would kind of say, like, if for your marketing sake, add in Instagram so you have a piece of that funnel.
Yeah.
Because the best thing any agent can do with any of their marketing is to understand where their base is. I've spent, since Instagram was almost created, I've been messing with Instagram. I remember back when it was like super, super, super new and you couldn't do anything with it, and loved it then, still love it now. And it's still probably my favorite platform out of everything. And I don't think it's going anywhere. So that's the stability of it there. It still has a side of it to where you can get more exposure than other platforms, but not to take away from YouTube. I still love YouTube. I think everybody should have YouTube. I had a conversation with another marketer yesterday who's local here, who works with small businesses. And they do a bunch of TikTok right now because that's the trending topic, but no YouTube. So they're creating a bunch of video content, put it on TikTok, no YouTube. I think that Instagram's almost a happy median between the two of them, where it kind of bridges the gap.
And for me, part of it too is, I guess the vanity of Instagram turns me off a little bit, right? It just because I consume in my age group, in 43, right? Father of 2 kids, married. I'm not necessarily looking at, young ladies doing stuff on Ferraris anymore. It's just, I'm past that in my life, right? I'm past that in my life. So for me, when I consume content, and I don't know, I think, I'm pretty mainstream. I think I'm like top 40 guy, right? When I listen to the radio, I can spot. So I feel like the trend moving more forward here is less vanity and more really in-depth content building that's educational, that's entertaining in a way that's just not all like, old school TV, 80s, 90s, kind of just like, a lot of models and all that stuff and fancy cars and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's, don't you think that's played out just a little bit here versus, you know, what's been happening?
I think you spent a couple years liking the wrong kind of posts there, Max. The algorithm.
Yeah,
I think the
algorithm's following you.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm
like.
just saying, right? When I switch over to this, the marketing stuff, that's what I see. But then more on like, you know, random stuff here, and I don't, like I said, I don't consume it. I'm assuming that's what's coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
No, and it's. I mean, you're going to get that on every platform, of course, like where it has a lot of the vanity. I mean, it's social media. I mean, at the end of the day, like that's what it is. Where the Instagram portion of it specifically comes in nicely is that it's quicker content. Like I said, it's easy to consume, and it's been in people's lives long enough that it's a habit. Like it sounds silly, but I mean, just like anything, like if it's a platform that's a part of somebody's daily routine, it's a habit that they check when they're before they go to bed, when they wake up in the morning. I, as a marketer, will definitely be putting content on it so that I can capture some type of their time, you know, in some form, whether it be a reel or a post or a video or something else. And also with that, looking at Instagram, we didn't really touch on this portion of it. I don't know how much more time I got with you guys, but I would also strongly encourage people to start looking at tools like Hashtastic, which is a hashtag. It's not necessarily a hashtag generator as much as it is a ranks hashtags and lets you know what is the best to use for your type of content, how it's working for your content, so that you can start getting as much exposure as possible. Because the last thing that I want is somebody go, hey, Anthony, you know what? I made a boatload of content. I've shot a video every single day. I've put it out there. It's been 2 years and I have 10 views. What am I doing wrong? Because it happens. Like the truth of it is sometimes it happens. There's the perfect balance of, hey, I am a content creator, but I'm also an engineer on the back end where I'm looking at some of this analytics and data and making it to where I'm the minor adjustments that I need, like hashtags, to be able to get more exposure.
Right.
So is that a third-party app, or is that part of Instagram?
That's a third-party app.
And does it cost any money?
$9 a month.
Yeah. And so it takes your content and tells you what your hashtag should be.
Yep. And it also allows you to look at other people's content that are similar to yours. You can see what hashtags they're using. You can look at the hashtags themselves and see how they're ranking and how much they're being viewed daily, all of that. And when you're thinking in hashtags, try to think in thirds. Think in, this hashtag is never going to happen. This hashtag is kind of big, but I might be able to rank in it and I will own this hashtag. Not so much own like AnthonyMendoza.com, but something that's like Las Vegas marketing, Las Vegas real estate marketing, something like that, where you know you can rank in it. And what that means to the platform is that when you're using these hashtags in different posts, Instagram's looking at that. Facebook is looking at that. They're looking to see that, hey, back in the day, we used to tell people, just throw 100 hashtags in it. The more hashtags, the better. Like that, you're going to open up doors. What they do now is they look at the hashtags and look at the content, and they see if you didn't get any engagement from this hashtag whatsoever, it's kind of working against you. So if you have 30 hashtags, but you're only really ever getting seen in 1 or 2 of them, the other 28 aren't helping your case. So that's where this tool comes in to tell you, hey, this is helping you rank. This is keeping you back. This is what you want to move forward. And again, the name of the tool is called Hashtastic. So just like hashtag and fantastic slammed together in one cute little word.
So, what we teach, we teach social media, is that the hashtags, and it doesn't matter whether it's YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram, they have to be relevant to the content. And that's where so many people fall down. They cut and paste and don't think, what is this? What is my post really about? And people, they still do that, and they don't get views. It messes up their algorithm ranking. Don't you agree, Anthony?
Oh, 100%. Because you want to be able to, like, hashtags are ranked now because hashtags can be followed. So instead of just a person being followed on Instagram now, people follow hashtags. So it's not just one user, but a plethora of users that all use that similar hashtag. So when they did that changeover in the recent years, that's when they ended up having that SEO styled ranking system to their hashtag. So exactly what you said, you have to have them relevant to your content.
So I I have a YouTube channel, and I think that and I had some help with, the descriptions and things like that, and they were putting like 15 hashtags, and they were relevant, so to speak, but I think it was too many. And I noticed, are you a YouTuber, Anthony?
Yeah.
Okay. If you put too many hashtags, they don't put 3 on the top of the title. Did you know that?
Oh, no, I didn't actually.
I experimented with that, and it was interesting. And then my other question is, this is maybe something that I've recently run up against, and that is, it looks to me that if like I do the same thing every day with my stats and my show, so my show's pretty standard. So if I use the same 3 hashtags every day, am I developing a following off that branding that I'm doing with those hashtags? It seems like it's happening.
Yeah, so because you're having the consistency in it, you'll start getting that over and over because you're getting recognized that you have that consistent amount of content going to those same outlets.
So, and I know on other, like you were saying, with we teach this too on Instagram. You do the first, let's say you do 5 that don't have any views, and then you do 5 that maybe have 100 to 200 ranking in there, and then you do 5 that are over 200, something like that. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So it's kind of breaking down what those brackets would look like for your 3. The hashtag puppies, hashtag love, like that's never going to happen. Don't even try.
Right.
Like you shouldn't include that hashtag inside of your content. And it could be as relevant as you want. It could be the picture of your new puppy. Don't hashtag puppy. But you can use that, again, that same tool, hashtag, or you could just use the search bar in Instagram itself. And it'll tell you how much content is in that hashtag.
Yep.
So I think, hey, the brackets would look something like, the ones you could own would be that 1 to 10,000 pieces of content.
Right.
And then 10 to like 30, 40 would be the one that starting to get into bigger hashtags. And then 100K plus would be the ones that are going to be the biggest of the 3 that I would go after. Anything over like 1 million, I honestly wouldn't use that hashtag.
Or even I used to teach over 250. If it's over 250, I would just caution them, especially in our real estate industry. I think if you're in a different industry, you might catch something on those other hashtags over 1 million. But in real estate, I think if you stick to, that was always my experience, 100 to 250 for that 3rd tier.
And if you do have, so just to roll off your example, you have the 3 hashtags that you use all the time. What I always tell people to do as well is, hey, if you know these are your main hashtags, go into it and create engagement for yourself. So what that means is click on that hashtag that you used and then find other people's posts that are using that hashtag and like and comment on them.
Right.
That way they're driving back to yours. You're seeing that you're engaging in that hashtag. So it's allowing you to rank better that way as well, because you're showing engagement inside of that community, inside of that group.
That's a real good hack. That is a really good hack. You just shouted out to everybody.
Because everybody's curious, like who's this person commenting on? This is good, especially if it's a relevant and good comment, right? I mean, they'll look at you and then they'll explore you, and then you might win another follower.
Yeah, and do it with places. You're real estate agents. You're local. You want local people or California buyers. Instagram is amazing for guerrilla marketing because you could do those things. You can go into hashtags, find people inside of that community. You could go into places and find people in a literal community like Paradise Hills, like downtown Summerlin, like these other places based off of Instagram search bar, places, search that restaurant. Just when you do things like that, think in terms of Instagram. It's pictures and videos. So if it's somewhere where somebody can take pictures and videos, then I would be inside of that place liking stuff all the time. The big one right now, Omega Mart, Area 15.
Oh, yeah.
Huge for pictures, huge for video. And if you wanted to start capturing some more eyeballs of people locally and you're doing stuff, you're just kind of hanging out at home, you got a free 5 minutes, go to the search bar, go to places, Omega Mart, and start liking and commenting on stuff, asking questions about their experience. And all that's doing is it's free marketing. It's putting your business Instagram in front of them, where it's like, I get people that tell me, why should I do that? I don't care about Omega Mart. Well, they might care about real estate. And when they see Anthony Real Estate Agent and they go to my page and I have homes on there and content, and maybe I had a reel that answered a question that they had, and they watched it and they're like, oh, that makes sense. I didn't know that I could get down payment assistance and be able to get into a house now. That was the biggest worry that I had before, or something like that. It's just giving you more at-bats. And from my first sales coach that I ever had, he was my first sales mentor. The one thing that he taught me over anything was the more at-bats you get in the business, the better. Because at-bats. Yeah. So just the more swings, the more tries, the better. Yeah.
So we're running at the top of the hour here, but I want to ask you a question too here, Anthony. I mean, at one point, or maybe you're already doing it, but for me, if I'm a content builder, if I'm a real estate agent, if I'm a business owner, right? And I only got so much time and so much expertise, really, right? The last thing I want to do is spend my free time, right, posting, understanding hashtags. At one point, are you going to outsource some of these little items so that, just like the mundane stuff, like the back end stuff, right? Like the researching the hashtags and looking at the analytics on an ongoing basis, so that you can just focus more on content building, brand building for yourself, and shooting videos, and then really outsourcing the rest, right? The posting of it. I'm not saying outsource the replies and your personality and stuff like that, because I don't think that's a good idea, but just the more mechanical stuff that happens behind all of this.
So for me personally, I will outsource for 2 people. So my dream over the next year is to have a full-time videographer and to have a full-time marketing assistant. This is honestly the biggest reason why I made the jump from where I was to where I am now, because of these 2 people that I want in my life. So I wanted to be able to grow a business so that I could hire on these people to be able to have scale in my business. Right. And the reason and the people that I'm looking for is somebody that can shoot and edit video so that I have a constant source of content. Whether it's day-to-day stuff, conversations I'm having behind the scenes, like right now, having somebody in the back kind of taking a couple clips from this conversation and showing what this world looks like. And then the second person who would look at the analytics of it, where they'd do the posting, they would look to see what content is working and not working, so that they could tell the video person, hey, we need more blank content, we need less of this content, and be able to really scale. If you're not looking to get that crazy with it, like I'm trying to do, then I would say, hey, shoot a bunch of content, use something like Fiverr or Upwork, find somebody that edits videos at a low rate that you can send a Dropbox folder to with a bunch of videos, get the edited versions back, and then post yourself. That way it's taking out the heavy lifting section of it and allowing you to be able to scale the other side, because you could build scale in with Facebook's Creator Studio. And that would be Facebook and Instagram, where you're constantly pushing out content scheduled without having to do it. So you would say, Monday, I'm going to take 2 hours or an hour, how long it takes you. And I'm going to take the content from the editor and just push it out. So you could build scale into it. That would be the cheapest route to do it. But yes, I think at some point, as you're growing and developing all this, because you still have to sell homes, you still have to open doors, you still have to do stuff. So
exactly right.
That's kind of the two sides of it. That's what I am going to do, and that's my dream is to have two people in house that I can constantly have creating content, running content, and then we can kind of have that dream team built, me and the other two people. And the flip of it would be, hey, if you're trying to do this today, realistically, what it would look like is Upwork or Fiverr for somebody to edit the content and then you push it out. I think it's hard to find boutique, like I think it's hard to find shops, especially if you're going online and you're going on marketing agencies to run my social media. That is extremely difficult to find somebody who understands your brand. And the biggest part that I see fail when that happens is conflict arises when expectations differ. So your expectation as the business owner is, hey, I hired a marketing company. They're going to create content for me. They're going to post it all for me. They're going to do all of this, and I'm going to get leads and business in return. And it doesn't work that way because you are your brand. Right. If you sold a product, 100% all day long. Send them a bunch of products. Let them take pictures. Let them make videos from it. All of that. Awesome. But they can't capture your essence. And that's why I say, hey, either you have a local boutique shop that can come and you can sit down with and work with and do it, or you shoot the content and do it yourself, have somebody else edit it, and then you can post it. That way it matches your identity, your voice, has your essence in it, and people can connect with you. Because at the end of the day, as cool as marketing is, as cool as Facebook and Instagram and all this stuff is, in real estate, we are a relationship-based business. And we're allowing these social platforms to be an extension of our relationships. We're allowing them to be an extension of ourselves so that people can connect with us and build a relationship with us.
But the bottom line is you have to be the person that is creating the content. Then you let the marketer market it, and you let the videographer or the editor edit it. But you have to be the star of your own show. Yes. And there's no way around it. And people that don't do that are not going to survive in the next 5 years, because our brand is going to keep us in business.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's the great differentiator. Like over the last couple of years, what is the main thing that we've come up against besides COVID or some of these other things was iBuyers. We constantly had this conversation of that, and the biggest thing to combat it is your relationship. It's having your own brand. It's having your own identity, and people can recognize that.
And what else is happening, Anthony and Max, is it's just not the iBuyers. You have Ideal Agents. You have all these companies that are saying, I have the best list of agents, and, just click here and we'll send you, or that's on TV even, call the 800 number and we'll connect you with the agent, the best agent for what you're looking for in your location. And they're taking a referral fee. So Tom Ferry says in the next 5 years, 50% of our business is going to be referred business if we don't brand ourselves. So 50% of us will brand ourselves, 50% of the people won't, and they'll be buying leads at a cost of up to 40 to 50%. So that's why you have to do it now.
Yep, 100%.
All right, Anthony. A lot of information, and this is just the tip of the iceberg of all the stuff that it requires. Again, well, definitely gonna have you back, man, because I'm curious on the success and the branding that you're gonna start doing here. And do you have a place for people to follow you right now already?
Yeah, so you can go to my Instagram, Anthony Loans, and I'll actually put a link in my bio for a slide deck that I created specifically for Instagram Reels for your guys' followers. And they could just click on the link in my bio and I'll have it in there. It'll be the top button in that link tree. It's at Anthony Loans. And it's a whole, hey, how to post on Reels, how to utilize it, what you should be doing, and some ideas for content and methods for pushing it out as well.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome.
Well,
Ruth,
we
what's
really
happening this week?
What's happening this week? Speaking of building a business, Jimmy Degg and I have created a class called Be the CEO of Your Life, and we've got it accredited by the real estate division for 3 CE credits. You can Zoom or come into the classroom, sign up at bee.vegas, and we always provide a free lunch for those that come to class. Our classrooms they fill up pretty fast because people are glad to be back together again. And then we have the other half of the people that watch it from the comfort of their home. So, we are really knocking it out of the ballpark with our classes. And this one we're so excited about because we are going to give people a roadmap of how you be the CEO of your life. So we're so anxious. We're rolling out 4 new classes that the division just approved over the next couple months. And this is the first time that we're doing this one. So hopefully everybody signs up.
Anthony, thank you for coming on again. All right.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see everybody next Saturday.
All right.
Have a great week, everybody.
Right. Love everybody. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Max.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great weekend.